with your boy Big Buck from the 985 to the 601. We all across the land in every area code. We up in Michigan today with my dog Curtis. What's happening, Curtis?
How you doing, Buck? Not doing too bad myself.
Yeah, I'm doing fine, man, on this lovely Thursday, bro. I only got one more day of work, and it's going to be real good. It's going to be real good because I get to enjoy my weekend. I'm supposed to go kayaking tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be a hard.
And got my son's last soccer game on Saturday.
Uh-oh, heck yeah, man. How old is the little man?
He's 5. He'll be 6 in December.
Heck yeah. Shout out to that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, I hope y'all have fun for sure about that, brother.
Oh, yeah, I ain't tried to. He likes it so far. He's not quite as into sports as Dad is, but he's learning. He's still kind of young.
It's a growing thing for sure, man, because I tell you, today's topic is Father's Day, and I tell you, my dad, me and my dad, we didn't have no relationship for sure, and, like, there was never no bond, so, like, I didn't have a dad to talk about sports with, as well as I was never really a sports guy. But probably about third grade, I had some friends that were talking about playing football. And so I was like, I don't know. I was like, I got a lot of other things that I like doing besides playing football, you know. But sure enough, I had enough friends that kind of coerced me and, you know, twisted my arm just get me out there. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I did, you know. Like I say, my dad wasn't there to kind of watch me grow up and play and watch me play sports. But, you know, like you said, you got your son's last soccer game coming up Saturday. That's a blessing that you've been there as much as you can for your son, you know, even though he's not into sports as much as you are, but hey, maybe he will grow into that, you know, just from going to soccer, could be football, baseball, you know, who knows, whatever it comes to high school, football, baseball, tennis, I don't know. There's an unlimited amount of sports that the kid could play, you know.
Yeah, he played flag football already. I was lucky. I got to coach him for that. He enjoyed that. So I'm learning. It really came out with soccer more than football, but he doesn't like the sport when he's not winning, which I get it. It's understandable. Nobody likes to lose.
Right.
Our football team wasn't very good. We had a lot of first year kids, and like with my son specifically, he's the smallest out of any group that he plays with. He's a whopping 3 foot tall, almost 6 years old. He doesn't stand very big. Like everybody else on our roster wears like a medium shirt. He's still in an extra small. He's tiny.
Oh man, that's funny.
Well, he goes out there, he gives it his all.
Hey, that's what it's all about, you know. And as like you said, as you as a dad, you're out there with them. Dad being able to coach him. The good thing is you have that one-on-one time with your son, you know, that you can bond as well as you can coach him as well as teach him. Like there's other coaches I'm sure that's out there teaching him the rules and everything, as well as trying to get him to be better at whatever it is. And you said that he doesn't really care to lose, which who does like to lose? You know, everybody wants to win. But one thing as a father figure, what you can start teaching it from a young age, that everybody doesn't win. Like you don't always get to win. You know, there's going to be some times where you win and there's going to be some times where you lose. You can't always be that victor, you know.
Right. Yeah, that's part of it. But he also, I don't think he liked me coaching him because I feel like I'm not like a lot of dads are with their kids. Like he didn't get special treatment. I was 10 times harder on him than anybody else because that's my son. And I don't think he really liked that because it seemed like everybody else got off easy where him, he didn't.
I was talking with a guy earlier, my friend Nick. He's from a little small town called Magnolia, Mississippi, and we were talking about disciplining children, you know, about how we had it growing up, raising kids as well as being raised. I was just like, yeah, man, I said, nowadays, you know, there's a lot of parents that aren't disciplining their children as well as they're not whipping them in schools and stuff, you know. And I tell people, you know, I think that's one thing that's kind of getting a lot of kids not to be, I guess you would say, misbehave more as well as acting out more because they are so prone to getting away with things, you know, and not getting accounted for their actions and wrongdoings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but oh no, that is not me as a parent. I will not let my son be like that. 'Cause I don't like that. My son shows everybody respect. Like, when I ask him a question, it's yes, sir, no, sir. When, like, you give him something, it's thank you, sir, ma'am. I do not play that because I will not let my son act out like that because, to me, that's a reflection of me as a parent.
Right, because it is. That's based upon your household and the company that you keep.
Exactly. On the topic of kids, and I know you said something about discipline in school. I am currently going through a situation where my son's preschool teacher smacked him in the mouth.
No, we ain't doing all that.
Right, like, I don't even smack him in the mouth. Like, do I bust his butt? Yeah, of course. Like,
right. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a whipping. There ain't nothing wrong with a whipping.
But I don't smack him in the mouth. I'll be damned if you do.
Right, because, I mean, there's no reason for the teacher to put hands on your son unless it's a normal whipping or a spanking, you know. But to put...
And even like that, like, you're a teacher. Like, still, that would have been a little bit more, I'd have been a little more okay with. But,
right, but definitely don't smack him.
Yeah, no chance.
About like Vince McMahon, they no chance. Say on wrestling, you got no chance. He'd be coming slapping his.
Oh yeah. If it would have been a male teacher, I don't think we'd be having this conversation because I'd probably be incarcerated.
Hey, look,
man, I was so mad.
Like you said, bro, when you lay eyes on that child for the first time, that is when you know that you will go above and beyond to do what you have to do to protect them, to make sure that they are safe. 100%. You know, you will drop anything at the drop of a hat, take care of your son.
Hey, and that's 1,000% is. Like, I don't care. So, given my son was being bad in school, got him sent to the office, no big deal. But I don't care, like, what he did, you don't put your hands on my kid. And truthfully, like, what he got smacked for was saying penis. Like, he's 5.
Right.
He's 5. He didn't use an improper term. He called it the right thing.
He said peach?
He said penis.
Oh, okay, yeah. So was he saying that he had to go to the bathroom?
I mean, I'm not exactly sure the context of how, because once I found out that she hit him, all my common sense went out the window, and I didn't give a shit what context he said it.
Right.
But I do know that is...
you put your hands on my son.
Right. But I do know, like, that is why she did it, is because he said that. I'm not exactly sure the whole context of why he said it. I just knew that's why, and all level-headedness went out the window.
I understand, man. I understand. But you, I'm sure you taking the right legal actions of it, you know.
Oh, yeah. There's investigations, everything already going on.
Right. And that's the way to do it, you know. Take it that way, you know, because there are some parents, not to say there's nothing wrong with these parents that do this, but that will go up to the school and try to fight the teachers, you know, like you said, if it would have been a male teacher, it probably would have been more hands-on. You would have definitely probably have gotten it up in his face, which that's understandable.
Oh, I mean, I'm not allowed back at the preschool. Like, I went up there still.
Yep.
I just didn't put my hands on anybody.
Right.
But I'm not allowed there.
Right. You had to show them who you was.
Oh yeah.
Right. They know who you are. That's one thing, you know. I mean, not knowing what all you said because I wasn't there. I mean, not saying that you said everything right, not saying that you said everything wrong, but you as a parent, one thing that I could say is that you went up there and you tried to get down to the bottom of it somewhat, you know, to understand, like, why are you doing this to my son? Because there are some parents out there that would hear that and just be very nonchalant about it, you know. Some of them would not care, or they would just not pay attention to it. They would just let the harassment or the humiliation go on day by day, and then that's when it comes down to more bullying at school. Or
we nipped that in the butt right away. Like, as soon as he told me, so he has a half sister. His mother and I aren't together. His mother is married and they have a daughter, and she went to the same preschool. When I found out, I went and pulled her from school, and neither of them have returned since. We weren't going to let her, obviously, like, there was an investigation open that same day, so anything to do with him is going to be her involved as well, because that's his sister, and we weren't taking any chances of either of them getting targeted.
So even though that you and your ex-girlfriend, even though y'all ain't together, y'all still came to an agreement to do what's right for the children, correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like those,
and see that's good, because there's a lot of times in relationships and ex-relationships where that isn't even an issue. They don't even try to work it out or try to get along. A lot of it is just like, oh no, you did wrong. Yo, no, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna take care of it. Blah blah blah. But luckily, y'all came together, even though y'all aren't together. Y'all came together as co-parents, trying to benefit the children, and that's the main thing.
And that's exactly it. Like, her and I co-parent better than almost any like group of parents that I've ever met. So legally, all legal right. She has like full legal custody of our son. She hasn't had him in almost 3 months because that's not where he wants. And her and I are both level-headed enough and realize like he's old enough to kind of make his own decisions. Like he's safe with both of us. He has everything that he needs there. So if he wants to be at one parent's house and not the other, like why should we not let him?
Right.
And we think about that well, and like he just wants to be here. He wants to live with Dad, so that's what he does.
Right. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like you had mentioned that your father was too much a part of your life as well as the same as mine, man. I was telling my friend Nick earlier, my dad, he really wasn't too much a part of my life, and not bashing him, saying I wish that he would have been more a part of my life, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I don't know if it was more of his father wasn't there for him, then so on, and then he just didn't learn how to be a father, and so it just was like a never-ending cycle of not having that father-son relationship, And so how you mentioned y'all are co-parenting, and your son is basically living with you, but his mother has full custody. Man, there was tons of times where that was an issue in my household, where my mom had legal custody of me, but my dad wanted legal custody, or he wanted me for a weekend, but I didn't want to go over there. Like you said, your son, he has full on 100% capability and knowledge of what he wants. Like, not saying that he can go out and just do whatever, but he knows where he feels most comfortable, and he knows where he wants to be, and he knows where he has the most pleasure and enjoyment, where he gets the most out of life for right now in the time being. At my age, when I was like second and third grade, man, I could remember my dad was always telling me that he was going to come and get me, and sometimes he would, but sometimes he wouldn't, Sometimes it might be 11 o'clock at night before my dad even pulls all the way to Kentwood, when it don't even take no 2 or 3 hours to get from Kentwood to New Orleans. I mean, I don't know if you know that travel distance, but it's probably at least an hour and 10 minutes from my house in Kentwood to the New Orleans airport, So just to the city of New Orleans, it's probably at least an hour, 15 minutes. It's not far at all. So there was tons of times where he could have came a little bit earlier, but who knows what he was doing? Ain't none of my business. That's between him and the Lord, But But I definitely I get what you're saying about how your son is able to make that decision about where he wants to be, because there was tons of times where my mom would ask me if I wanted to go with my dad for the weekend, and he was like, hey, let me talk to Aaron, and I would be like, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to you for a little bit, and I would, and he'd ask me if I wanted to come over, and I said no, or sometimes I'd say yeah, but it got to be the point where I didn't want to come over anymore, because I was kind of, as I told my friend Nick, I was tired of going over there and not kind of having that father-son bonding, He was kind of always dropping me off at another relative's house. Even though he was still there, it was me hanging out with some cousins and stuff like that, with people that I really did. Exactly, There's nothing wrong with me getting to know my family. I don't have a problem with that, but it was it was almost like I was hanging out with different cousins every time I went down, which that was like, it was very rare that I went to New Orleans and visited with him, but it was like every so often that I would go, and it was just like, well, I forgot your name, so I really don't know you. And it was like, oh, then, all the old folk, they always say, oh, well, baby, that's your cousin. Yeah, da. And I'm like, all right, I don't know, whatever you say.
Right, like, yeah, it can be my cousins, don't mean I know them.
Right, don't mean I know them. how is that my cousin? Like, shit, I barely know my dad. I barely know my dad, much less how you gonna tell me this dude my cousin or this girl my cousin.
See, I had kind of it was kind of weird. Like, my dad was around until I was like 6 or 7 probably, and then he just up and disappeared to Vermont. Like, out of nowhere, I was living with him. I told him that I wanted to live with my mom. I didn't like it there, so he was very into video games, and like that's all he would ever do. Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything because I didn't have anything really there. I didn't have toys like that. I wanted to spend time with my dad, but he wanted to be on the game all the time. So I asked to go live with my mom, and he was like, sure. So I moved in with my mom, and within like 3 weeks, he called me, was like, hey, I'm moving to Vermont. I was like, okay. Was the plan I was going to come out for like summers and hang out there. After he got on his feet, if I wanted to move out there, I could. He moved. I talked to him for like the first 2-3 weeks probably. Then calls started getting shorter. He said that he's been stressed out trying to find work and everything, and eventually just fell off the face of the earth. I found him on Facebook when I was 20. So like 13 years later, we had just found out about my son, that she was pregnant with my son, and I seen him, and I was like, so I'm going to message him. I messaged him. I said, hey, not sure if you care, but I'm going to be a father. He said, congratulations, man, be better than I was. And I said, yeah, that's not fucking hard. And I know he was like, I kind of deserve that, and he's been kind of periodically in our lives, but I don't call him dad. When I see him, my son calls him grandpa, but that's something my son decided to do.
Right.
He started that on his own, like that's his grandpa. If he decides that he doesn't want to because he's not around like that, then I'll never force him to call him grandpa. But if that's something he wants to do, I'm not gonna stop that either. Just like
right.
As much as it hurts, as much as it kills me, his mom's husband, he calls him dad too. Like I can't stop that. As much as that breaks my fucking heart, that hurts. As a dad, that fucking hurts. But as much as it breaks my heart, like, he's there for him when he is over there. Like, that's something my son decided to do on his own. It wasn't pushed on him by his mom. It wasn't pushed on him by Caleb. So who am I to tell him no? He feels comfortable that that's like his dad, then so be it. I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to force him to not do that.
Right. Because, I mean, with your dad, that's good that you reached out to your dad to let him know that information about you being a parent, and for him to say what he said about hopefully you be better than I was, at least he can, I would say in that time maybe he was kind of trying to atone for his wrong, not saying that he actually meant it or really was more remorseful about it.
Yeah, not to cut you off, like he was genuine with it. I didn't go into like full detail, but like after that, like we kind of messaged a little bit. He asked to take me, my mom, and my girlfriend at the time out to dinner so we could all talk. He got to meet her, got to talk with my mom again. He apologized a bunch for a lot of things. Kind of broke down and came out about why he did some of the things that he did.
Right.
And like I said, it doesn't necessarily make it better.
And It never will make it better. And like that's why I was telling my friend Nick about no matter what a dad does, if it was right or wrong, it could never atone for what they did because they did it. And it did hurt you some type of way, mentally, physically, emotionally. And that will somewhat scar you and give you some type of trauma from kind of there on out, But for you to be the better person to, like I said, you went out of your way to text him and let him know that information he mentioned about hopefully you can be a better one than me. As like I said with my dad, maybe it was his father wasn't a great father towards him, and so he didn't know how the father
was never around.
And so maybe it was just like that in your situation, as well as there was other circumstances, as like you said, he was still playing video games a lot. Maybe he was still trying to be a kid. Maybe he kind of rushed into having a kid a little bit too early. There was probably a lot of A, B, C, X, Y, and Z up in his life that was going on at one time, and he just really didn't know how to figure it out.
Dad never being around. Me and him met his dad at the same time when I was 22.
Oh,
and that
man.
was his first time meeting him and mine. so his dad was never around. So like he didn't have that guidance either, which I kind of give him slack for a little ish. But at the same time, like there's no book to this.
Oh,
man, there's no book to parenting. I wish there was, but even if there was, it wouldn't work because every kid is so different in so many ways. Every kid take differently to things, and you said shout out to him for taking care of a kid that's not his, because that's not easy to do. I've been there. I've been in that spot. I've done it. That takes a big man, and shout out to him. That takes a lot.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. Like I was telling my friend Nick here, because we had mentioned we had spoke on the Father's Day topic as well before me and you got here on the phone talking. He was talking about how his dad was there, but sometimes he wasn't. But that was because of his dad's job working in the oil field. And I said, yes, that's 100% true, man, because there's so many people that work in the oil field that I know that they miss the opportunity on their kids' birthdays, some graduations, some first teeth falling out, the tooth fairy, sometimes the first doctor's appointment for just all types of things, birthday parties, graduation, swim parties, all that type of stuff, first bicycle rides. There's so many things.
It sucks too because a lot of dads don't even have to like miss a lot of those things because of work, because it can be things like breakups and like bitter baby mamas is why you miss those, and that sucks.
Right, because
I couldn't imagine.
Sometimes the baby mama don't want you there,
and
there's really nothing that you can do about that if they don't want you there. And sometimes you try to give your 110% effort of calling your son or daughter on their birthday just to wish them a happy birthday. Be like, baby, I can't be there today, and that probably will upset them, and they feel like, why can't he be there? But mom won't tell them as well as dad won't tell them because right now ain't the time and the place. They're at a young age. Their feeble minds really won't understand and comprehend. But hopefully, if we're talking in a bitter baby mama, bitter dad, bitter situation, hopefully that son or daughter can atone for that bitterness that whatever parent was feeling at that time for that other parent. So because no matter what, like I told Nick, you had a father growing up or you didn't have one. There's always somebody that had a father figure role in your life. There is no rule book to parenting. Even though I'm not a parent myself, I would definitely say I'm a role model and a father figure to some people. There's definitely people that
you mentioned you got a bunch of nieces and nephews. Like, it takes a village to raise a kid. I didn't realize it. Like, we don't realize it when you're younger. When you actually have a kid, it's crazy. Like stuff like little toys, just hanging out, like the things, like when your kid asks to like see your friends and calls them like his uncles, like they play a big part in that kid's life too, and you don't really realize it when you're younger because you just think of those people as like family. But like when you're older, like my best friends, my son will tell you he's got like 3 or 4 uncles. I have no brothers and sisters. But that's just it. That's people that I've been friends with since high school that have been around since he's born. Those
are the ones that got your back. Those are the ones that's gonna do what it takes to make sure that baby, he has whatever he needs. Y'all are spending time together. If he needed to ride to the doctor's office, if he needed to ride to school, they would do anything in the drop of the hat to help you out with it, Right, man. I tell people all the time, like for Christmas usually I go home and not only spending time with my friends and my family, I try to get my friend. Like, I don't have any kids. I ain't got no girlfriend or anything like that, but I have nephews. So I try to spoil my nephews whenever I can, as well as I try to spoil my friends' kids that have kids, because I got friends that have kids that are like 5 to 7 years old, and they be coming up to me like, Uncle Buck. And so I don't mind ever giving them any gifts and stuff like that. And this past time I went home to Kentwood, sure enough, one of my buddies, he got 3 kids, but like I say, he's doing a good job. He's working hard. He's busting his ass. And I was giving him some gifts, and he was just like, Buck, you didn't have to do that. I said, yeah, man. I said, it ain't about what I had to do. It's what I wanted to do, because, there's so many people in the world that don't get that, that don't get those little gifts, those little Barbie dolls, fidget spinners and whatnot,
Exactly. And I'm thankful, like, for my friends that do that for him and for me, because they really are. They're a blessing. Because like I said, there's times where my son will just ask to see one of his uncles, just for no reason. Just, hey, can we go to Uncle Gage's or can we go to Uncle Bryce's? Sure, why not?
Right. Let's go see what they're up to today. And sure enough, he just goes erratic and spastic whenever he gets over there. He just goes crazy, just jumps off the wall.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
If they got toys, he's pulling out every single toy in the toy box. Oh, man.
Oh, all of my friends have an animal. He likes the animals. Some of them have cats. Some of them have dogs. He loves all of them.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I can only imagine the cats and the dogs getting tortured, cats and dogs getting their tails pulled and everything.
Oh, man. And it's nice, too, because, like, me, I'm a homebody. I work, I come home. So sometimes, like, hearing him say things like that or what I need to get motivation to get out of the house, as much as, like, a parent does for their kid, until you have kids, you don't realize it, but your kids do so much for you, too.
Oh, yeah, because they open up a whole new world for you, you know, where you could have closed so many doors and locked it away and thrown away that key. But, man, them kids, they will open up the door. They say the darndest things that'll have you just dying laughing.
Yep.
They'll bring tears of joy and tears of sadness to your eye just because some of the things that they say. I know we were at my friend Mann's house a couple months back. It must have been probably around Christmas, maybe early January sometime. I can't really remember. But we were all out there. We were drinking, having a couple drinks, whatnot, playing a dice game, whatnot. And it was so damn funny. Cruz says, he said, "Hey, Am, what happened to your dog?" And he exactly knew what happened to the dog because he was hanging out with his daddy, Drew, and his friend Buddy Man. His name is Dakota Spencer, but we call him Buddy Man. Buddy Man had accidentally ran over. I say accidentally. I don't know because I wasn't there. But they say Buddy Man had accidentally. No. Amber had ran over Buddy Man's dog. That's what it was. Because he said, "Hey, Buddy Man, what happened to your dog?" And then he was like, "Don't talk about my dog." and so like Cruz is like 5, 6 years old, and he was like, "Who told you about his dog, Cruz?" "My daddy." And he's like, "Well, what happened?" Said that Amber ran over the dog. And we all looking at Amber, and like we like I said, we drinking, and we like, "Amber, why you ran over the boy's dog?" "Well, he kind of got in the way, and I didn't mean to. He's a little bitty dog." And so we were just like, we were shitting on her. We were like, "Cruz, you got to stop talking, buddy," because sure enough, Buddy Man started tearing up. That must have been like a dog that he had for a minute, you know.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I could only imagine. That feels so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the kid didn't know any better.
The kid didn't know any better. He just repeating words that his daddy said. He said, "Buddy Man, what happened to your dog?" Like I say, them kids, man, they'll say the darndest things.
They do. And sometimes, like, it might not even be the things they say. Like, I promise you, Buck, the best feeling in the world is random hugs from your kids. When they just randomly walk up to you and give you a hug, there's no better feeling. I don't care what kind of mood you're in. At that point in life, you are just content for a few seconds while they hug you. Like, being a person, I struggle with depression since I was like 13. He changes majority of that. Like, when he's in a good mood, I kind of have to be in a good mood. When he's upset, I kind of got to make him in a better mood. So I have to be in a good mood for that. So
right.
They help in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah, man. It's a slow and sure process for sure. And like you said, there's no parenting book for it. You know, there are definitely days where you probably wake up, you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to do this. You know, your son's having a temper tantrum, you know, as well as just some days it could be just going great, but you still just don't want to do a thing. But you know, Your son come along and he will give you that random hug, and some days everything's going good, everything's going peachy, or sometimes it could be just god awful, and you just be like, "Oh, Lord, why am I here? What am I doing? What am I doing?" And just be like, you get that random hug from that child, and that's why you're doing it. It takes a lot for somebody to, like, kind of talk their feelings as well as just how they feel on a normal day-to-day, you know, not even just really talking about emotions, and just to try to put out positivity in the world. I said, yeah, man, I said, one thing I've been starting to say, I said, man, in a world full of negativity, I believe we need that positivity, you know. That's definitely 100% correct, because there's so many negative things going on as we're speaking, you know. There's probably been at least 10 people that's done died by the time we got on his phone. You know, they probably won't make the headline news just because it ain't nothing like that Uvalde, Texas, but shootings was Buffalo, New York. If it ain't, like, as they say in the media, if it bleeds, it leads. There's just so many things going on each and every day, every waking moment and hour, and so many people just don't even know what's going on. And so I always tell people, just always be thankful for what you have and not for what you don't, because there's so many other people in this world that don't have anything. You know, you think that you got it bad, but hey, there's others that got it worse, because you're raising him not only to be a fine young man and to have a great work ethic as well as characteristics in life, but to teach the future of America and the generation of youth to be better than we were, and so on and so on. You know, it seems like it's not a lot, but it is, because, like I say, it's a lot taking care of a kid. It ain't easy. I haven't really had to do it. I didn't babysit it a time or two, like watching kids while I'm at friends' houses and stuff. You know, I've never changed any diapers or anything, but I've definitely done did the running around, playing with toys, picking up about 4 or 5 kids back to back for a 20-minute segment, you know, and then playing hide and seek and every freaking Nerf fight, whatever you could think of. You know, I did all of that.
You got to do all the fun stuff.
I got all the fun stuff.
Wait till you got to change a diaper. Wait till you got to change a diaper that they have all over their leg.
I think last time I was home, my friend Man was talking about how he almost threw up last time trying to change the diaper. And, like, Man's probably like 22, 23 years old, but he'll be like, Buck, I just can't do it. It's just so nasty.
It is. Changing diapers is horrible.
I can only imagine, bro. But, like, we grown up adults, our shit stinks. But baby shit, oh, that's 10 times, 20 times worse. I can only imagine.
Oh, being your whole body away in the smell, being trapped. It's trapped, and it's about 1.5 feet from your face when you're trying to. And then if you have a boy, you got to worry about not getting showered on. Oh, right. Man. Knock on wood. I got through my first one. I did not get peed on. I did not get peed on. I did good. I guess now might be a good time. So I'm going to, obviously, when the podcast come out, I'm going to share this, show a lot of my friends that I talked on it. I'm going to have another son in September, Buck.
Oh, congrats, man. Congrats, bro.
Thank you.
Congratulations on September. Will make a year that I've been at this job. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good month of September for us, then.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm excited.
You got another boy coming or a girl?
We got a boy.
Okay. You got some names picked out?
We have one, but his mother doesn't want us to tell anybody until it's born. But we do have a name.
Hey, listen, I understand. Save it, and just when it's time, it's time. But hey,
for now, he's referred to as Baby J.
Baby J. All right, Baby J. We ready to see pictures of Baby J in September.
Oh yeah. Make sure you get some, Buck.
For sure, buddy, for sure. Well, man, it's been good talking to you, man. I appreciate you coming on the Buck Bites podcast, man. You're more than welcome back anytime. But, Curtis, it's always been real. It's always been fun, but the fun had just begun, my son. I hope that you have a blessed weekend, and happy Father's Day to you, bro.
Thank you, sir. You as well. Have a good weekend. All right. Have a good day, boss. Have a good weekend. Bro. Appreciate you.
Anytime, man. You have a good one, bro. Love you.
You too. Love you, boss.